Hello, I'm FPL MV and welcome back to another FPL preseason video. Expensive players are in every position for the Fantasy Premier League, but we have to filter out those who we don't need for game week 1. So today I prepared a list of players, expensive players that you have to avoid for game week 1 drafts that you build because they won't get you the points that you need and you need to emergently take them out. If you enjoy the content, as always, subscribe to my channel. If you have any other players to suggest, write them down in the comment section. And now let's go to that list. We're starting with a player from the champions Manchester City. He is their nailed goalkeeper, but he is no use in FPL in most cases because his ceiling is 6 points. And to get 6 points for a 5.5 goalkeeper seems a little bit waste. You can get 6 points from a 4.5 keeper with the same rate. In previous season, Ederson has never been the top goalkeeper, so his price is only because he's playing in the best side of the Prem, being Manchester City. In my opinion, he is not a good goalkeeper fantasy-wise. He's a fantastic goalkeeper in real life, don't get me wrong. He's good with his feet, he's making saves, but for fantasy that doesn't mean a thing because you need 3 saves to make some points for them. Then you need another things to take to face shots first of all, and Manchester City are just not facing any opportunities against their side. And even if they face one or two and they concede one goal, his clean sheet is gone and he's getting 2 points because he has not made any more saves than 3. As already said, and for 5.5 I don't see any point in investing him. If 5.0 was his price, he was directly going into my side and he was going for a lot of players, but for 5.5 it seems like a big of a waste because I think I can find a better keeper for 4.5 and for 5.0 especially. I see Ederson as a weaker goalkeeper fantasy wise to Alisson. Even for that price, Alisson is as well 5.5, Pope is 5.5, and Ederson is just not making the saves. He's not just facing the shots to make the saves. He sometimes maybe get rotated when they need to Ortega. Yeah, he's nailed in most of the games, but Ortega did well last season, and having a rotating Ederson is a bad thing as well. So yeah, please stay away from Ederson. I believe you can get a lot more points from everyone else, and for me, picking him in game week 1 seems stupid. If he has a double up, maybe then, because his ceiling becomes 12 points compared to 6 to other goalkeepers, or let's say 8. But for single game weeks, pick a better defender from Manchester City who can get a bonus from points from 1-0 victory. I know they are not too often, but that can score a goal from set piece. He's cheaper than Ederson. Do something about that price wise. Waste the money somewhere else in their defense, but don't go for Ederson. Next up, we have another Manchester City player. It's Cancelo. Cancelo was one of the best defenders in fantasy until last season. Around the half of it, Guardiola benched him and he left Manchester City. Right now he is not in the good books for Pep Guardiola, so that means that 6.0 for a non-playing Manchester City player seems a little bit harsh. He may be playing and he may get well with Guardiola, but doesn't seem like the case with previous players that broke their relationship with Guardiola. And I believe Cancelo will be pushing for an exit. He just doesn't fit the system where they are playing with 3 center backs and John Stone is joining the attack. If they change it to something else, maybe he comes back into the team, but right now they're utilizing their fullbacks in a different way, and Cancelo is just not too good to be used like that. He is good at going forward. After his scrap off with Guardiola and Ban, he did not do very well there as well. So he is with not very high confidence right now, and I believe 6.0 can be spent a lot better on some other players, and you can even save some money by going to John Stones, Ake, Akanji, Ruben Dias. Every one of them is cheaper than Cancelo, so going for Cancelo is the very wrong decision, and it will be very harsh to swap him because yeah, you downgraded someone else, but you have money and you have compromised on some other place on your team to fit him in. Just don't go for Cancelo. If Cancelo returns or joins a Premier League side and plays as a regular wing back, he becomes a very good opportunity to join. He will be 2 million cheaper than Trent, and he will be cheaper than Robertson and Trippier as well. But for now, stay away from Cancelo. Don't consider him from game week 1. Focus on another Manchester City defender, but Ederson and Cancelo, both of them, seem to be the worst decisions to make for your game week 1 squads right now. And I want you to make the best decisions so you can increase your rank as high as possible. Next up, we have one of the best defenders from last season, Trippier. I know it's controversial to put him in an avoid section, but for his price 6.5, you can go a little bit higher to Trent or a little bit lower to more and same as good 5.5 defenders. You can go to 4.5 for the clean sheets from Newcastle to Botman. So going for Trippier seems a little bit extreme. His fixtures are not good enough. Yeah, last season he was fixture proof and this season may prove to be the same as well. But for 6.5 he is not a very good contender to begin into my team at least. I believe you can spend the funds a little bit smarter and wiser. I know last season he proved us wrong, but this season he has a really bad start of the season fixture wise, and I want to attack a fixture run with my defenders so I don't have to rotate them as much, and I don't want to bench a 6.5 defender because this is a lot of money to be on the bench. So for now, Trippier is staying far away from my team. When their fixtures turn for the better, he will join in for sure because he's Trippier and he's that good. But for 6.5 to start into my side, I need to compromise a lot with my team because I want to have two premiums, and going for Trippier will kill that off completely or will hurt my other part of the team. So for now, Trippier is staying away, and I think it should stay away from your team as well because all the things that I already said, and you can invest that money better in my opinion and get the same return, because it's one thing to be 5.0 and deliver every game week, the other thing is 6.5, and if you can find the right people to compensate that 1 to 1.5 million price tag, it will be very beneficial for you, because that will be the difference between, let's say, to go from Mudryk to a player like Havertz or something like that. Next up is a player that has a significant price down from last season, but it's on the list no matter the case of that. It's KDB. He's now 10.5, and this for a special midfielder like him seems like a lot less money than he deserves. But hear me out. He's now having an injury, so he won't be playing in the Community Shield by the preliminary reports, or at least he won't be taking part of the whole of the preseason, which is one of the most important parts of the season, the preseason, because you get yourself fit, your body up to the tasks, and you improve yourself physically, and you just get a rhythm of the game. He's rumored to miss game week 1 as well, so if he is coming back after game week 1, that's no use of you to having a 10.5 player that's not going to play in game week 1, and then he is not maybe going to start in at least game week 2 or 3 because they don't have such bad fixtures to need him, not a game against Arsenal or something like that to be needed to and require KDB services, so he will be missing a couple of game weeks for sure. I know it's a big miss for City and this can hurt a lot of their attacking ranks, but they have a lot other better players that, not better, but good players that can compensate his absence and deliver more points for less funds. That's why KDB is staying far away from my side for game week 1 at least, but when he returns, I may consider putting him in the squad because he is that good, and I need good players in my team that can make returns, and doubling up on KDB and Haaland for around 25 million will be a very good price. Last season that was 23, this season is 25. Yeah, this is Manchester City tax, but what can you do? Two premiums from City can never go wrong, and you can opt for KDB but not for game week 1 for the reasons that I already stated. It's better to spend the money to go to someone else and just pick Rashford. To add to the saying not pick KDB for game week 1, he's in a very awkward price range. He's 2 millions of Salah, but he's 1.5 on top of everyone else from the midfielders department at least. So going for KDB seems risky, not worth it, at least for game week 1. So stay away from him because I will be for sure. The last player in my opinion you should be avoiding for sure for game week 1 is Ivan Toney. He is suspended, he is banned for half of the season, so picking him won't bring you anything. He won't be playing, you just waste 8.0 million. With the same case you can just waste 4.5 on a non-playing player if you want to waste so much more space and not put a player into don't care if he plays. But spending 8.0 million on a player that has zero chance to play a game at game week 1 is stupid, just stupid. Stay away from him. Don't be tricked about his points from last season. Yes, he did pretty well, even though he dropped off the tempo at the end. He was a very, very solid striker and a very solid player. And after he is returning from suspension, he will do bits once again. But for now, stay away from him. Just focus on someone else. You can pick Wissa, you can pick Embuemo. Both of them are going to be great players for Brentford this season. When Ivan Toney is missing, when he returns, he will be considered very, very highly, in my opinion, to be put in my team. So I will do a video around it when the time comes. But for now, for game week 1, stay away from him. All of those 5 players are good players technically, but their price for FPL is too high and it's not worth it. Trippier is not the obvious choice to stay away from him, but in my opinion you should. The other 3 City players that I've discussed, you should stay away because most probably 2 of them are not playing in game week 1 and the other you have far better alternatives, and Ivan Toney is not playing for at least 18 games, so stay away and far away from him. If you enjoy the content, subscribe to my channel, give a comment down below if something else pops up to your mind you want to discuss. But for now guys, I'll be heading out. Bye!